Hello everyone, this is Dr. P. Mary Anupama, Head of the Department of Biochemistry, St. Joseph's College for Women, here with the topic Types of Neurons. The contents of this lecture will include morphological classification of neurons, like we have the unipolar, bipolar, and multipolar neurons. Then the type of nerve fibers, like we have the myelinated and unmyelinated nerve fibers, which will be covered. Morphological classification of neurons. Neurons, these are the fundamental structural and functional units of the nervous system, and these are highly specialized cells responsible for receiving, processing, as well as transmitting information through electrical and chemical signals. One of the primary ways that the neurons are classified is based on the number of processes or projections that extend from the cell body, which is also called as the cyton or soma. So these processes, they play a crucial role in communication as they enable neurons to connect with the other nerve cells, muscles, or glands effectively. Based on this structural criteria, neurons, these are categorized into three main types. So we have unipolar neurons, bipolar neurons, and multipolar neurons. The unipolar neuron, bipolar neuron, and multipolar neuron. Unipolar sensory neuron, bipolar interneuron, and multipolar motor neuron. Unipolar neurons. These are also referred to as pseudo-unipolar neurons in vertebrates. They possess a single extending process from the cell body. This single projection, typically it bifurcates into two branches, one functioning as a dendritic branch that receives the signals, while the other one will be acting as an axonal branch that transmits impulses towards the central nervous system. True unipolar neurons, these are extremely rare in vertebrates, while these are very commonly observed in invertebrates. In humans, the pseudo-unipolar neurons are primarily found in sensory ganglia, such as the dorsal root ganglia of spinal nerves. Their structural simplicity, it allows rapid transmission of sensory information from the peripheral receptors to the spinal cord without direct synaptic interruption at the cell body. Bipolar neurons. These are characterized by the presence of two distinct processes arising from opposite ends of the cell body. One is the axon and one dendrite. The dendrite, it will receive the incoming sensory signals, while the axon, it transmits impulses towards the central nervous system. So these neurons, these are relatively rare compared to multipolar neurons and are typically associated with specialized sensory functions. So bipolar neurons, these are found in sensory organs such as the retina of the eye, the olfactory epithelium, which is involved in smell, and vestibulocular apparatus of the inner ear, which is responsible for hearing and balance. Their unique structure is well suited for the direct relay of the sensory information from receptor cells to other neurons. This ensures precision and minimal signal distortion. Multipolar neurons. These are the most abundant type of neurons in the human nervous system, and they exhibit complex structure with one axon and multiple dendrites extending from the cell body. This arrangement allows them to receive input from numerous other neurons simultaneously, making them highly efficient in integrating and processing the information. Multipolar neurons, these are predominantly found in the central nervous system, that is the brain, spinal cord, as well as in the autonomic nervous system. They play a very important role in motor control, reflex actions, and high cognitive functions such as learning and memory. Structurally, the multipolar neurons, they exhibit considerable diversity in shape as well as size. Some may be appearing pyramidal or stellate, that is star shaped or pear shaped. Okay, based upon their location, the shapes vary. For example, it is stellate. Stellate is star shaped. It is allowing multiple connections in different directions. So this is based upon the location that the shape varies. This morphological variation, it reflects the functional specialization of each of the neuron in the different regions of the nervous system. The extensive dendritic branching in multipolar neurons, it increases the surface area for the synaptic connections, enabling complex networks to form and even efficient processing of incoming signals. Then nerve fibers. The nerve fibers, they consist of an axon along with its surrounding sheaths. These fibers, they tend to run together in bundles, forming specialized structures within the nervous system. So the bundles of nerve fibers, these are termed tracts in the central nervous system, and nerves in the peripheral nervous system, reflecting their location and function. Types of nerve fibers. Nerve fibers, these are extensions of the neuron, and they are primarily represented by axons, which are responsible for conduction of nerve impulse throughout the body. Based upon the presence or absence of the myelin sheath, the nerve fibers are broadly classified into two types. We have the myelinated nerve fibers and unmyelinated nerve fibers. This structural difference significantly influences the speed as well as the efficiency of nerve impulse transmission. Here is the neuron with the myelin sheath, which is produced by the Schwann cells, while this is the unmyelinated neuron, which is not covered by any myelin sheath. Myelinated nerve fibers, these are characterized by the presence of myelin sheath, as I told previously, a multi-layered lipid-rich insulating cover that is formed by our specialized cells, the Schwann cells. In the peripheral nervous system, this sheet is produced by Schwann cells, while in the central nervous system, it is formed by oligodendrocytes. The myelin sheet is not continuous. We know that it is discontinuous, leaving small gaps, which we call them as the nodes of Ranvier. These nodes, they play a crucial role in enhancing the speed of nerve impulse conduction, which we call it as the saltatory conduction, where the impulse, it is jumping from one node to the other node. As you see here, the saltatory conduction in this video, this greatly enhances the speed of conduction or the velocity of transmission compared to continuous conduction. The myelinated fibers, these are predominantly found in the white matter of the central nervous system, and here this appears white due to high lipid content of the myelin. They are also present in most cranial and spinal nerves, particularly those involved in voluntary motor functions and rapid sensory transmissions. Because of their high conduction speed, myelinated fibers, these are essential for activities that require very quick responses such as the reflex action, coordination of movements, and sensory perception. The unmyelinated nerve fibers, in contrast, they lack the myelin sheath. Although they may be partially closed by Schwann cells in the peripheral nervous system, they do not form the thick insulating layer seen in myelinated fibers. So as a result, the nerve impulse in these fibers are conducted more slowly through a process known as the continuous conduction, where the impulse travels along the entire length of the axon without jumping. So thus, these fibers, they are commonly found in the gray matter of central nervous system and are associated with functions that do not require rapid signal transmission. The unmyelinated nerve fibers, they are involved in the conduction of impulses related to autonomic functions such as regulation of the smooth muscle activity, glandular secretions, and visceral action control or visceral organ control. Additionally, we see that these fibers, they are frequently associated with physiological as well as pathological conditions. For example, they play a role in transmitting the slow, dull, or chronic pain sensations, as opposed to the sharp pain which is carried by the myelinated fibers. So their slower conduction, it is sufficient for processes that are sustained rather than immediate. Let us summarize the differences between the myelinated and the unmyelinated nerve fibers. Features here. So presence of myelin sheath. Myelinated nerve fibers have myelin sheath while it is absent in the unmyelinated. The conduction of nerve impulse, it is very fast and it is saltatory conduction, while in unmyelinated it is slow and it is called as continuous conduction. Coming to the functions, myelinated are the very rapid and efficient communication, while here it is slow and sustained process. Role, these are involved in coordination, reflexes, and survival skills, while these are involved in internal regulation and autonomic control. The significance, myelinated nerve fibers, these are involved in quick response and the response is precision, while here it maintains the essential body functions. So let us summarize what we have learned. We have seen the morphological classification of the neurons. Based upon the morphology, they are classified into unipolar, bipolar, and multipolar. Then coming to the nerve fibers, based upon the presence of the myelin sheath or its absence, these are named as myelinated nerve fibers and unmyelinated nerve fibers. Recommended books for further study include Guyton and Hall Textbook of Medical Physiology, Essentials of Medical Physiology by K. Sembulingam and Prema Sembulingam, or Human Anatomy and Physiology by Elaine and Mereb et al. Or you can study Review of Medical Physiology by Barrett, Susan, or this is the other one, Textbook of Medical Biochemistry and Physiology by M. N. Chatterjee and Rana Shinde. Thank you.